Former Joe Biden White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre has left the Democratic Party, and a lot of her former colleagues don't like this move at all. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Karine Jean-Pierre, the former White House press secretary under Joe Biden, leaving the Democratic Party. Now, this story is really funny. A lot of DC people already hit me up talking about, oh, it's a grift. She's just trying to get some money. She's trying to become a celebrity, artist, that, and the third. Now, I see something here. I do see the play here. I see kind of what's going on. But I'm not mad at Karine Jean-Pierre. Why not? I'm not mad at you because the Democratic Party, they treat their people like garbage. It doesn't matter who you are. They treat everybody like garbage. Joe Biden, I mean, this guy's 1,000 years old, and they had him run for president. It's like, come on. Why would you do that to this old man? I know he wants to actually run, but at a certain point, you got to take the keys from Papa. Remember when Van Jones was crying on TV about that?
When you're grandpa, you got to take the keys, and everybody, you got to take his keys. You got to take his keys. You got to, and he's fighting, and everybody's so frustrated. And then you finally get the keys back, and then you just cry.
Democratic Party treats their people like garbage. So why not become a celebrity? Why not get some money on the back end? Why not? Now, before I go any further into it, let's look at a couple of clips, and we have an article talking about the colleagues and how they feel about her decision. This is going to be when she was still the press secretary, and she's talking to Peter Doocy. They had a lot of good back and forth. It was a lot of good content for us over on Twitter and YouTube and whatnot, but let's watch this. Then we're going to get to her announcement about her book, which, of course, she's promoting. Then we're going to get to the colleague article, and everything, of course, will be in the description. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Between next Monday and 2028.
2028?
Who's the leader of the Democratic Party?
Oh my goodness, wow. That is, honestly, that is for people much smarter than I to make that assessment, that decision. Obviously, voters will decide. That is not something for me to decide.
So, no leader of the party?
That's not what I said.
Well, it's not President Biden, and it's
Oh
not
gosh,
Vice President.
I'm regretting this right now. Regretting all of this.
It's nobody.
That's not what I said. I said that you asked me about what's the 2028 is going to look like between now and 2028. I can't, or post obviously this president's tenure. That's not for me to decide. That's not for me to speak to.
All right, so there we go. She didn't want to say who the leader of the Democratic Party was. I mean, hey, how can she say it? Because Joe Biden's on the way out. It should be him, right? As of right now, because even when Trump was not in the White House anymore, he was still the leader of the Republican Party. So I think we all know that Joe Biden was not going to lead anything from the beginning. Now, this is going to be her promoting the book, and she'll talk about being independent. You see the title of the book right there, Independent. Let's check it out.
Hi, I'm Karine Jean-Pierre, and I am the author of a new book that's coming out this fall called Independent. It's coming out on October 21st, so please do grab it. And the reason I wrote this book, coming out of the White House, serving as White House press secretary was an honor and a privilege. But since I have left, the people that come up to me, strangers that come up to me just across the country as I'm traveling, and sometimes right in my neighborhood, at a grocery store, supermarket, airport, my daughter's school, the number one question they ask me is, Karine, how do we get out of this? How do we protect our democracy? How do we protect vulnerable communities among us? What do we do next? Because we don't have answers here. That's what they ask me. And this is my answer. And what I mean by that is, in an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does. And here's the truth. And here's how I will lay it out to you. I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan. And the way that I see moving forward in this space that we're in right now is, if you are willing to stand side by side with me, regardless of your how you identify politically, and as long as you respect the community that I belong to and vulnerable communities that
LGBT.
I respect. I will be there with you. I will move forward with you. And that is, I think, so important. So this book, Independent, it's about looking outside of boxes, not just always being in a partisan stance. And how do we move forward together in a compassionate way, in a way that really, truly cares about people? October 21st.
All right, there we go. So there's a lot I want to say. Okay, can I just address the obvious? I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I'm going to just say what I got to say. Karine Jean-Pierre is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful woman. Somebody might say it don't matter, but it does. Let's be serious. If you're going to be a celebrity, which she is, she's a star. Look, she's beautiful, very well spoken, engaging person. She has the energy of a Michelle Obama, but in a much better looking package for sure. Okay. She has that type of energy going on. And that's something that you can't really teach. Jasmine Crockett does not have that. Jasmine Crockett is not attractive like Karine Jean-Pierre. And she has this energy that's not very welcoming. It's more adversarial. I'm going to fight you. That's her energy. But at the same time, she's entertaining. However, her overall package would make her be a bigger star with more crossover appeal than Jasmine Crockett. Does that make any sense? Michelle Obama has more than Jasmine, but less than Karine Jean-Pierre, in my humble opinion. And I think the strongest candidate in the Democratic Party right now would have been Michelle Obama if she wanted to run. What I see in her future is a presidential run. Yes, I do. I see it. She's I think in her 40s, like late 40s, early 50s, something like that. Looks great for her age, and she has time. So we're going to get the book to come out first. She'll be a celebrity. She'll be on all the shows. She'll be on The View. She might mess around and get a TV show. If she gets a TV show, y'all going to see how good she is. She was already the White House press secretary, so she understands how to communicate. That's something Kamala did not have. Kamala was more beautiful when she was younger, but she's still not a bad-looking woman. The problem with her is that she did not know how to communicate. She was weak and didn't really have many words. She gets you with a word salad question, answer. She really didn't have much on the way of communication, but Karine Jean-Pierre has it. So a lot of her colleagues are going to be upset because they see her just trying to get into becoming a celebrity, and she's not really caring about the party. Let me just show you some of this article right here from Politico, in which you see a little bit more from her colleagues. You see the headline. Karine Jean-Pierre is leaving the Democratic Party. Her former White House colleagues have some thoughts. Several who worked alongside the former press secretary responded to her book announcement with derision and contempt. So they didn't like it at all. So check it out. Karine Jean-Pierre's announcement that she's leaving the Democratic Party time with the rollout of a new book has detonated long-simmering grievances among her former White House colleagues about Jean-Pierre's pursuit of celebrity and personal media exposure while serving as then President Joe Biden's press secretary. So basically, hey, while she was on the job, she was trying to pursue the celebrity. Why not? She got a lot of attention. A lot of us on the right were talking about her because of all the back and forth between her and Peter Doocy. And then the way she would just communicate grabbed attention. And her looks, of course, that matters. Some are going to say it doesn't, but you're just a liar. You're just a liar. Hey, if I was a big fatso sitting in front of you, that'd matter, wouldn't it? But I digress. So check it out. The attention-grabbing ploy lit up Democratic and Biden alumni texting groups and reignited frustrations that burned for years about Jean-Pierre. According to 7 former Biden administration officials granted anonymity to describe private conversations, one former official recalled that Jean-Pierre had joked about becoming an independent even while on the job in the Biden White House, an off-key comment for someone ostensibly serving as a major messenger for the Democratic Party. Another former official said that Jean-Pierre had begun working during the Biden administration with a New York-based publicist, trying to get that book ready. She's smart. It's like, look, y'all want to use me out, spit me out? Nah, I'm going to get money. And everybody should be like that. In this day and age where you can be fired, it don't matter. Hey, use whatever you have to your advantage to be able to push yourself forward. I'm not doing anything illegal. Why can't I talk to a publicist? I can't write a book. Everybody writes books. Everybody writes books. Every person that goes to the White House writes books. So why is it a bad thing when I'm doing it? Maybe because, I'm going to be a star. And I'm launching my stardom right now. But anyway, so the person had been copied on that official emails to the actual publicist. Quote, everyone thinks this is a grift, unquote, the first former official said of Jean-Pierre's book project. As Biden's press secretary, Jean-Pierre's halting, ineffectual briefings, exasperated reporters, and routinely offered material for the Republican Party's main account on X and ABL. I used some of the clips as well. I sure did, like the clip at the beginning with the big Mr. Punisher or whatever, that the Batman villain suit jacket on. Okay, that was a classic. Hey, Karine Jean-Pierre, I don't know why you did that. Maybe it was just high fashion at the time, but that was a classic meme. Anyway, she frustrated colleagues throughout the West Wing for focusing on raising her own profile while leaving the hands-on management of media relations and the White House press shop to other aides. Hey, man, it is what it is. Shout out to her. Not necessarily a fan of hers politically, but that's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. I mean, look, your job is not guaranteed, and you're just there for a short period of time. So what's the next thing? Just like Jen Psaki, another White House press secretary under Biden. Now she's on MSNBC, as you should. Okay, because what are you going to do next? And you see that this is coming to an end. She knows that Biden is going to be a one-term guy. She knows that. Everybody knew that. And it wasn't going to be Kamala that succeeded. So, okay, now I make my exit strategy. Okay, I'm writing the book like everybody else does, and I'm going to promote it. And you know what? I don't need the Democratic Party anymore. I'm going to just go ahead and leave them and be independent. The colleagues were upset because it's kind of like her throwing the party under the bus. But a big problem as I close is that the Democratic Party sucks. The Democratic Party is a broken entity. I believe she said that it was a broken entity. It's a broken party. It sucks. They don't do anything for the people. And they're going to continue to lose, not only in elections, but they're also going to lose people as long as they keep behaving the way they behave. Simple as that. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about Karine Jean-Pierre leaving the Democratic Party? Is it because she's trying to write a book? Is it because she genuinely feels that way? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think it's a combination of both. You want to get your money and move on like everybody else does with a book or a job or a podcast. Everybody does that. But I think the part about leaving the Democratic Party is twofold. I'm promoting my book. It's called Independent. That'll be a must read. It's going to be New York Times bestseller. I'm going to get a big bag of money, and I don't need them. Plus, they treated me kind of terrible, the same way they treat everybody else. So what use do I have for the Democratic Party? And a lot of people, in my humble opinion, feel that same way. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.